So good morning. I did post a video this morning already. It actually started last night. I had yesterday my Engoo profile was finally activated. It only took several days. After you submit your video and photo and they're able to edit it, then I guess they build your profile with all your information that you've included, and then send you an email showing it's activated, and this is where you need to go to access. And so I have a video this morning already showing that. I went yesterday, and you'll see that if you haven't looked at it yet, if you haven't watched that video yet, what I do is I give like a little basic tour of what the tutor profile looks like, the different little buttons there, what the schedule is, how the scheduling works, and I did open my schedule for this evening. Yesterday, I was going to open yesterday, but I'm someone who needs time to process stuff first. So I didn't want to open my schedule up, and you can see my face all oily again. Open my schedule up and then not really be prepared. I didn't think I was mentally prepared yesterday, so I was able to sleep on it. I need to watch a few more training videos, I think, before I just jump in there, because their way of doing things is a little different compared to other ESL tutoring companies. I was on their Facebook group, and there's like someone who's been with the company for X number of years, was saying, we'd like to welcome our new ESL tutors from the Chinese, welcome, welcome. And just to let you know, this is much more relaxed than the Chinese ESL companies. So be comfortable, sit back, and have a good time with it, and yada yada. So, something to that effect. So it was something very nice and welcoming, letting us know that it won't be a long set of rules like we have with the ESL companies, the Chinese ESL companies, which I know there's rules, but I know and the Chinese companies are a little strict. That's just their way of doing things. So I don't, And there's no rule that the Chinese ESL companies had that I believe was too much. It wasn't anything I could not do. So I didn't really bother me that much. But yeah, I guess the atmosphere for these ones are a little more relaxed. I watched a few more YouTubers do a demonstration of their Engoo class, and it seemed very relaxed. It was very conversational. You were correcting things like that when they'd speak. In the middle of the conversation, but a better way to say that is, and always use the chat box. I know someone who didn't pass her, I think someone who didn't pass their actual demo class because she didn't use the chat box very much at all. Because it's not something if you're coming from an ESL company, I don't know if she did or not. If you're coming from an ESL company, we use the chat box for things, but we don't use it. It's not expected to use it like over and over and over and over like we do. I use it sometimes, but here you're expected anytime you provide a correction or want to give an example, especially if you want to give an example sentence of a vocabulary word, and then they want you to type the sentence in the chat box so the student can read it as well. And I think they can come back and watch the video. I'm not for sure how that part works. But again, I opened my evening classes. I think they call it core time. It's not peak time. It was 5:30 in Eastern Standard Time. 5 p.m., 5:30, 6:30, 7:30 p.m. That was their peak time. Then they have some more in the morning time. I can't remember what those were. I know they interfere a little bit with the VIPKid peak times of the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Then they go like a little bit over. Like I want to say they go into like probably 10:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. But then again, they're scheduled. You can book classes for 24 hours a day. There's no restrictions on times that students can enroll in courses. It can be any time of the day, no matter where you live. But they do have those core times. I noticed this morning when I was looking, it was showing like an hour from now, it had like a red box, and that means you're like 95 to 100% chance that's going to book, because maybe there's someone who needs a course that quickly, and there's a bunch that are trying to get teachers to do that. I didn't have time this morning, or I probably would have attempted one, but maybe I'll do that another morning. I just want to get these 2 classes out of the way. So I want to get my feet wet. I just need one day to get my feet wet, go through an actual class, and then I think I will be comfortable opening more slots like that. So yeah, I opened up the evening peak times. I opened up, between 5, 5:30, 6, 6:30, and 7. Opened up those 5 slots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so I did that about 4:30 p.m. yesterday afternoon when I got home. And then I checked again around 6ish, like 6:15, and there was 1 slot already booked. And then I checked again then I had a class at 8:30, so I checked right before that class, and there was just only 1 more class booked. So, and then I checked after that class, and then this morning when I woke up, and right now there's still 2 booked. It's not to say between now and this evening, my time, that someone won't book. Anyway, so I'm thinking, I had it backwards yesterday when I said a certain time was for younger kids and a certain time mainly adults and college students book. So I'm thinking that my Eastern Standard Time evening is when adults and college students book, usually, maybe. The 2 I have booked, one is 53 years old and the other is 54 years old, and they're both in Japan. And I go over how you know that, because I did watch a video on how do you know, because there's some specific things for students who are from Japan that we have to do, or we need to do, not have to. And so you can tell by way it is booked, if they're from Japan or from a whole different country. But we'll still ask them. I'm not just going to assume, oh, you're from Japan? And so we do that during the introductions. And you can see, I think I pull up one profile there. The student's able to request what kind of course he wants to go through. Like this one, I think they both said they want to practice reading the daily articles. That's one option they can do for that. And both of them said they want the teacher or tutor to be proactive with corrections. And I can do that easily. Sometimes I feel like I go overboard with the kids and I have to back off, and because I can tell their frustration. And I have that same frustration with my Mandarin teacher. If I get corrected, I mean, I need the corrections. I'm not saying don't do them, but I can feel that frustration of like, okay, I'm done. I'm spent. Anyway, today, Wednesdays, I usually don't go to the office. I try to schedule my office hours for Mondays, Tuesdays. I use Wednesdays. I work from home sometimes, usually. And then Thursday, because reason why I'm able to do that, flexibility, because I go in the morning on Thursdays and don't get home until like I have a night class I teach on Thursdays as well. So my Thursdays are quite long, so I'm able to, shorten my hours on other days. But the teachers in our education program, a lot of them will do their observation this week. The way University of Charleston seems to do it, I'm finally learning the way they do things, is that there's certain weeks in the semester, like week 3, week 8, and week 11, I believe. The students are given that time to go do their observations in the schools. And they can do them anytime they want. Like week 3, this will be their first visit there. And then after this one, they're able to get with their cooperating teacher, and then they can plan when they want to go. But we give them those 3 weeks to do their observation hours. Well, today, I know there's one of my classes, there's 8 students, but the school is only able to accept 6 right now. And so I got to find the 2 others, another school to go to. And then the school for the 6 that are going, they've requested that, and we're grateful that they don't have to take anybody. They can tell us, stay out. So I'm very grateful that they're allowing 6 to go. And my classes are small, so I'm not, it's not going to be a big thing. But they're requesting that they go in pairs, and they put them with 3 teachers. And these pairs need to go like on the same day and the same time. So I've got to figure that out, because this is an online class. And I think these are, some are like sophomore and freshmen, so a lot of them don't know each other yet. Especially if if you've been in the pandemic and you don't live on campus. A lot of times you just go in and leave, especially the last academic year. when there were a lot of restrictions. So I'm sure a lot of them didn't get to know a lot of the others. And I think out of the 6 that are going to the school, 2 of them knew each other. I think they're paired up because I sent an email out asking them, letting them know what it has to be this way. And if you already have a partner, go ahead and start your observation. If not, I can help you find a partner. And 4 of them replied, so I'm gonna get with those 4 through email and hopefully somehow other things today to get them paired up and squared away so they can go. Other than that, I think this is going to be, I keep telling my director and other people, I think this first semester of this term is going to just be a trial run for me. This is nothing but a learning experience, and then I think I just need this semester under my belt. I've taught higher ed before. I've taught full-time in higher ed, and I've adjunct as well since then and now. But this is my first full-time in a program. My past experience, except for my Grand Canyon University, but it's all online, and the students it's a graduate course, and they're mainly independent, and they have to find their own observation and student teaching and all that. I don't have to do any of that. There's other people at Grand Canyon who take care of that as well, getting their student teaching and everything else like that. But it's my first time working actually in a program. In my past higher ed experience, I was in used like a general ed department, an English department. We didn't have it wasn't part of a program, and so the students were generally a part of. They took our courses, but they were enrolled in a program itself, like engineering or West Virginia Tech didn't have teaching at the time. Engineering, dental hygiene. They could have been in aerodynamics. I think it's what that program was called. Any program really. And they just took our courses, and we didn't have to concern ourselves with making sure they get X, Y, and Z to get their requirements for the program. But now this is a little different. And I think I'm enjoying teaching these education courses in person a lot more than I did when I taught sociology and English in higher ed. I'm able to, use more of my own personal experience when we go over the various things in our courses. The 2 in-person courses I have are one's about assessing and diagnostics, and the other is positive behavioral supports. Those are 2 areas that I'm very, very familiar and comfortable with, working in special ed for X number of years. And the online course is called the Inclusive Classroom, and again, that's another area I would be comfortable with as well, except it's online. I'm comfortable still online, and I can answer any question they have and lead discussions. But online is a different world than in person. They're comparable. I mean, they can compare, but there's different. Well, if you've taken online and if you've taken in-person courses, and then of course I have the student teachers. I have 2 student teachers for me because they're able to. A lot of them are elementary ed, and then there's also a special education endorsement that you can work toward. But there's also the option if you're elementary ed to add on the special ed endorsement just by taking an extra student teaching requirement. And so the 2 I have this fall are doing that option. I don't think I have any secondary. No, I don't. None of them are just straight special ed, secondary special ed this semester. And I'm sure the spring semester there will be more. That's generally how teacher programs work. I got an afro or something. This fall semester doesn't have as many student teachers as the spring semester. Generally, that's how it works. So I don't. But I think one of our student teachers actually. I don't think we have to follow her the whole year. I'm not for sure how that works. She's what's called a teacher in residence. I know in West Virginia and a lot of other states, if there's a high need in a certain school district, they can hire someone who's completed all of their requirements except for the student teaching course. They can hire them, fully hire them, benefits, same pay scale, everything else as a beginning teacher, except they don't have their full certification yet. And so they go through university like we're here now, and they call it never fulfills their student teaching requirements. It's called teacher in residence. We'll go in to observe them I'm not for sure if they have a cooperating teacher or not. I think there's one there, I'm sure, like a mentor type teacher. But I think that's a good deal. You get a year of, if you want to stay in that district, especially if it's a district you want to stay in, then that gives you a year of seniority closer than what you would have had if you student taught and then went to that school district and got hired. And if you're not, but still it gives you a year experience under your belt that you can take with you when you do move to your home district. Many home districts will take that, I say most of them, will take that year experience up in pay. It's not something to dance around, but that year pays a year pay extra that you're going to pay what you'll get. And I think that actually gives you a year closer to retirement as well. It gives you a year extra toward retirement. In West Virginia it does. If you leave the state, then they have their own retirement systems there. Speaking of that, I remember working with a teacher. She's retired now. She was all special ed. And she was hired full-time in a district as a teacher's aide while she worked on her teaching degree. And so that gave her 4 extra years toward her, well, not seniority, retirement. So she was able to get those 4 years. So she started at 18 working. And so she was able to retire. She got her 30 plus years in when she was 50. So I think that qualified her for full retirement, or maybe she had to wait till 55. Can't remember. I think she was able. I think if you have 30 years at that time, I could be wrong, you qualify for full retirement in West Virginia public teaching system. And so she was, I guess she was 48 when you had that, but I think you have to wait till you're 50 though. If you're 50 and you have 30 years, then you qualify, or maybe 55. That's still pretty young to get full retirement, So I thought that was a good deal for her. Me, well, I've hopped around so much, I have to retire probably 60, 65. And so that's why I don't think about retirement right now. I'm contributing to it. I've opened up an extra retirement account, but I'm not, it'll happen when it happens. And I still think, I'll have like a little side gig. I could imagine myself just stopping everything and doing nothing. I think now that I've started editing on these videos, I can actually make them longer and just cut out some of the fluff of these. So I think I'll just keep this going until and just cut out the fluff later. It'll probably be all choppy. Watch this one be all choppy looking and all that. I did, I saw the option. You've seen one of my earlier videos earlier this week. Might have been this weekend, where I added little background music to a video. That's a big step for me. I used to be tech savvy until technology went on without me for a while there. So I'm having to, relearn some things for that. Anyway, normally I wouldn't be here going to the office, but I need to be there to get some things straightened out and organized for the students doing their observations this week. Other than that, let's see. Alrighty, well, that's that. If you watch the whole, right now it looks like it's 18 minutes so far. If you go the whole 18 minutes and watch this, I think you're wonderful. That's, you're giving me some time, but I couldn't imagine. Let me switch lanes here. But alrighty, thank you for watching. Have a good one. Oh, see my thumbs up there.